That's interesting. What's that?
It's a new band called Ambulance Ltd.
Ambulance Ltd.
Not Limited, Ltd.
That's a rubbish name for a band again.
Well, we said it was difficult to get Racine, so...
Well, Wendy took half an hour to say she came up with the name. I now see where the work goes into. Ambulance Ltd. You need to go back to the drawing board.
Is that on Monday?
We have with us Adam Hart-Davis. Couldn't be happier. He's been seen on your televisions talking about history mainly. He did What the Victorians Did First, which was a marvellous triumph. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Still don't quite know what they did first, but congratulations.
Quite a lot.
Yeah,
yes.
well...
This jumper, for example.
Well, yeah, you're wearing... Adam, it's a shame we're not on TV, really. He's wearing a jumper which is... It's almost giving off static. It's so colourful. What? Christmas gift, unwanted?
It is Australian. I should be standing on my head.
You know
really.
What? It looks like something Rolf Harris would wear.
Yeah.
It's like one of Rolf Harris's
It
outfits.
may even be something that Rolf Harris did wear.
Well, with the beard you've got now, I thought it was Rolf coming in.
I'm in disguise.
Why have you got a beard?
You see, you didn't recognise me, did you?
Do you like having the beard?
Well, I wanted to try, you see, but unfortunately the previous controller of BBC Two, Jane Root, would not have beards on the screen, so I had to shave it off. Every time I came back from holiday, I had to shave it all off
She
again.
wouldn't... Was that a rule?
Yeah. Well,
would not have beards on the screen?
Absolutely.
God, it's like a fascist dictatorship.
She's gone off now to run things in the States, and so nobody has yet told me to take it off.
She's a beard tyrant.
I'm not saying a word.
Do you think people knew that when they employed her?
I
She goes in up and said, look, before we even talk about the job, beards, no. And they go, all right, if you take
Now,
that
look,
off.
let me interject. Well, you were talking about Al Capone a minute ago. Have you visited his grave?
Of course not.
Mount Carmel Cemetery, west side of Chicago.
Why would I go there?
Next to his mum. There is his mum, mother's boy in life, still next to her indefinite.
Isn't it true? The gangsters love their mums.
Alphonse Capone, it says, my Jesus mercy. Very sweet. Just a little stone.
What a deeply unpleasant piece of waste he was, though, wasn't he?
Well, it's not an elegant grave.
We should have blown him and his mother out of space. Thanks for that, Mum. So Adam Hart-Davis has a new series on the BBC, the only stations you actually need at the BBC, really. It's on BBC Two. It runs for 9 weeks, and it's called What the Ancients Did for Us. It begins on Wednesday, the 16th of February. There is a BBC book to accompany the series, which looks rather lavish. It's a picture of Adam beardless.
Oh, yeah.
Just the way Jane Root likes him, on the cover there. And it's the history of ancient inventions, is that
Yes, absolutely. And you see where I'm standing? Oh, you can't quite see in the picture.
You're standing by a wall.
Yes, but in that wall is the oldest lavatory in the world.
Was that invented by Thomas Crapper?
Oh, God. Thomas Crapper didn't start his business till 1861. Oh. This is 5,000 years old.
You mean they went to the toilet that far ago? I thought it was a new invention.
People have always gone. They have to go. You know, stuff comes out the other end. Yes, fabulous for me to visit the oldest lavatories in the world. Very exciting.
The oldest lav in the world. And when you went to the oldest lav in the world, did it have the same graffiti we have in our state?
I didn't actually...
There was a little drawing that said, beware of limbo dancers.
I didn't actually go, you have to understand.
You didn't go in?
No.
Were you not tempted?
I didn't go. I couldn't get in because the doorways was a bit narrow.
So how different was the first toilet on the planet that we know of to a modern one?
This is a Stone Age house, OK? Right. A small Stone Age house, a bit smaller than this studio, all right, with walls all the way around, and all the furniture was stone because they didn't have any wood.
Of course, that's just the Stone Age.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell
And in
us
the corner, it wasn't the Wood Age, was it? In the corner, there's a little doorway and a cubicle, and in the middle of the cubicle, there's a hole in the middle of the floor, goes straight down into the drains that go under all the houses. And
they had drainage back then?
Yeah.
I didn't know they had drainage in the Stone Age.
Yes.
Because in the Bronze Age, they didn't have drainage,
Well,
did
they probably did, but
no,
we
they
don't
didn't.
know
They forgot it. They used to go outside of the Bronze Age camp into a little Jersey area, whatever it's called, for your jacket, they'd whip it out and back in.
Yeah.
And then someone, don't go over there, it smells. No drains.
Well, here they had drains. This
I don't think you know what you're talking about. I don't think you know what you're talking about.
They were very
They didn't have drains back then.
You go and have a look. You can see them.
You don't know what you're talking about. You come in here wearing a silly jumper, pretending to be a historian, inventing the fact that Stone Age had drains. They did not have drains.
I'm not a historian. I failed O-level.
All right, I want someone to email me in. You don't have to be Stone Age. Email me in. If you've got an elderly relative, did they or did they not have drains in the Stone Age? No is the correct answer. And if you say no, you win a prize.
The Romans had good drains too.
Yeah, but they were foreign. It doesn't count. Here in the United Kingdom...
These guys were foreign. They were Scottish.
Oh. Don't know what they're like.
They've got their own parliament, haven't they?
Yeah, that's true.
All right, now... What else did the past do for us? They gave us the Stone Age drain.
Yep.
What are the key inventions, do you think? If you had to single out, say, the top 5 most important inventions that have changed or shaped civilization as we know it, what would they be, Adam?
Well, writing comes very high on top of the list, because without writing, we've got no history, and actually we couldn't learn. Originally, people just tell stories, and you tell your kids all the stories you could think of.
You pass them on.
But there was no other way of doing it. You couldn't read. You couldn't get
presumably stuff was lost over the years.
Oh,
yeah.
infinite amount of stuff was lost. And, all the skills had to be taught, literally, you had to watch somebody doing it.
Yeah.
Whereas now, you want to find out how to play the guitar, you can read a book.
And fail to learn, and then you get someone to come and teach you.
Yeah.
But the key thing is the knowledge is preserved there.
Yes, absolutely critical. And as far as we know, the earliest writing was done by the Sumerians about something like 4,000 years ago.
What was the first thing they wrote, do you think?
Well, probably shopping lists. And things like, you owe me 50 quid or whatever it was.
I promise to pay the bearer.
Exactly. Little marks with a wedge in soft clay, and the pattern of the marks, it's like letters.
Yeah.
Not as complicated as, say, the Chinese.
I think I've seen some of those. Terry Wogan reads them out on the breakfast show sometimes.
That's right. And that was... But they went on from there, and they actually wrote novels. And there's this huge Gilgamesh Legend, which is all preserved. Because it was on clay and they baked it, it then didn't decompose, or, they couldn't do anything else.
It's been saved. So when does that date back till?
Well, I can't remember the date, but it's something like 2000 BC. This is very, very old.
It's really old, isn't it?
Then the Egyptians came along with their hieroglyphs and did it all over again.
Yeah.
And again...
The hieroglyphs are prettier to look at.
Very pretty, because you've got lots of birds walking about.
Yeah,
and
little cat-headed people and people with ears.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love a hieroglyph.
They're nice.
Do you speak many languages yourself?
I speak English, more or less, and I speak hints of German, French, Japanese.
I thought
Hindi.
hints was a language then. Where do the hints live?
Hints, yes. They lived in Hinterland.
That's just the German, yeah.
Yes, that's back and beyond.
That's just good.
Yes, I can say about 3 words in Japanese.
Which are they 3?
I can say "doitashimashite."
That's thank you very much. You're welcome.
Just don't mention it. Hey, you speak Japanese. I'm very impressed.
少し日本語がわかります。でもまだ上手じゃありません。
Nihongo was very good des. I can't remember.
いいです。
いいです。いいです。
いいですか。そうですね。
Why did you go into a German sort of thing when you're doing Japanese?
Yeah, that is いいですね. Because I am a multilinguist. And I embrace
impressed.
all of the brotherhood of man, not just those who serve my need at the time. So the series must be, I would have thought, quite an adventure for you to go on when you make something there, because you're learning while you're teaching.
Absolutely, all the time. I mean, the great thing about these series is I'm on a learning curve, almost vertically upwards. I know nothing when we start, and at the end I know a bit.
Do you not think they could save licence payers money by finding someone who's already done some of the groundwork?
Well, yeah, probably.
There must be teachers out there gagging for the jobs.
But I'm very cheap, But you see, the glamour is, this is all over the world. We've got to see. And so I have...
I tell you what I used to love when I was a kid, Adam. Do you remember James Burke's TV shows, Connections?
Yeah, Connections.
They were great when he'd go, and this piece of paper couldn't have happened unless, here in ancient Egypt, once a man tripped over a cat. And that would not have been possible if Thomas Crapo in 1861 hadn't invented the flush.
Exactly.
Brilliant show.
But Jane Root wanted us to make the series in 6 months.
Without beards?
Without beards. There wasn't time for me to go all these places.
Well, it was a month shaving, wasn't it?
So, So I have 4 beautiful minions, 2 of each sex. Oh. They go all over the world, and I had 1 day on Orkney.
So that's all you got out of it?
That's
it.
it.
You filmed for 1 day on Orkney?
Yeah.
You did all your links on 1 day on Orkney?
All the rest was done in Sussex.
That's depressing.
I mean, they went to China, they went to Egypt.
So you come in here, we think of the life of Riley, we think he's travelling the world, he's enjoying the pyramids on licence. He's not.
He's been to Orkney.
He's sitting in Orkney with a puffin.
Yeah. With the oldest laboratory in the world.
Yeah, that's where
that was the most exciting.
But I think we've established that you get excited by toilets.
Yes, right.
So I think you've been given a list. Do you want the 8 wonders of the world?
Yes.
Or do you want the first toilet? No contest for Adam. I want to visit.
All right. You want the rest of the wonders of the world?
In a minute.
Huh, all right.
Don't go here like that. Coming in with your beard.
I thought this was a lively show.
We're lucky we let you in. Can we have? What are we going to play? Andy?
You want to play a Judy Garland track?
Never you mind what I want to play. Yes, I do.
Which track was it?
You'll love it. The Trolley Song.
Oh, lovely.
I love Judy Garland.
You do?
Oh, such suffering.
I think
that's for the Pink Pound listeners out there. She's dead, God bless her. But what a great song. That's from Meet Me in St. Louis. What a marvellous movie. What a fantastic film. When the little one has to go to the Halloween house all on her own. Oh. Hey, Trick or Treat. It's a great film. Do you like that film, Adam?
I don't know it.
Never mind what the bloody Romans did for us. What Judy Garland did for us. That's the series you want to do next. OK, with Adam Hart-Davis, a new series on the BBC, What the Past Did for Us. You've done... How many of the Whatever did for us have you done? You did Romans,
Victorians, Tudors and Stuarts.
Right.
And then, alas, I couldn't do the Industrial Revolution and Dan Cruikshank did that instead.
But what a great idea for a series.
Brilliant.
What a great way of encapsulating history
Very
and making
nice.
it popular.
Yes. We started with the Romans. I wanted to call it Dun Roman, but that was a bit subtle for the BBC.
Just as well you weren't left to your own devices.
Yes. Titles are not my thing.
So what the past did for us is more of a catch-all show, I guess, where you...
Well, we finally call the series what the ancients did for us.
Right.
But yes, we're going back to the beginnings of science and technology. Because we did all these others, and I said, but hang on a sec, it wasn't them who had the idea in the first place. Where did it come from?
Yeah, the Romans were famous for stealing
Nicking
ideas
things.
from all over the world, of course.
They invented almost nothing, the Romans. They just made the things really work.
Yeah, well, that's often all that you need.
Yeah. And they ran their empire for 500 years, on the strength of other people's ideas.
No one's knocking their organisational skills.
Not at all.
Who did they borrow from the most, you think? Who did they steal from?
The Romans from the Greeks directly, because they followed them directly and they occupied mostly the same area.
So what happened to the Greeks? They had the world in the palm of their hand, they were ahead of the game, everyone looking at them with admiration, then suddenly, boom, gone. What is it now?
Yes.
It's a holiday resort.
Well... No, they're still there. They're very nice people.
I know they're still there. I know they're nice people. Don't you guys start saying I'm saying otherwise. What I'm saying is they should have been the world rulers.
Yes.
What were they? Sitting on their bum just thinking?
Well, that was the point. That's what they loved to do. They were philosophers. They didn't want to run the world.
Yes.
They wanted to think.
Yes.
And they were brilliant at that. They invented mathematics. They invented democracy. They invented ethics and so on.
That's obviously what I like doing as well, just sit around and have a little think.
Yes.
All of us like to just sit around, basically.
And the Ratzina,
But the Romans up on that then, weren't they?
Yes, they wanted to conquer the world.
Couldn't get enough of it.
George W. Bushes of the 0th century.
Better dressed and, better read.
Well, I'm not sure that George would look good in a skirt.
George doesn't look good in anything, though, does he? Especially not when he tries to pretend to be a soldier, climbing out helicopters with a uniform on.
I have no comment.
So the series starts on Wednesday, the 16th of February.
No, it has started a long time ago.
Oh, it's gone Wednesday,
2 weeks ago.
Yes, I thought it was 2006.
Well, if you could take this show back a couple of weeks, it'd be fine.
We'd have been on time.
Yeah.
So what are the next episodes that we have to look forward to?
We started with the... Who did we start with?
Aztecs?
No.
Incas?
No.
Mayas?
No. We didn't start with any of them.
Sumerians?
No, none of them. We started with the Arabs. We started with
Can
the
you say
Muslims.
Arabs? Is that the correct way of saying it?
We started with... George W. country. We started with the Islamic Empire, which was amazing. It stretched from Spain to Pakistan.
Huge.
And they were terrific. They hoovered up all the existing knowledge and they wrote it down. That was absolutely critical.
So that's the key thing.
Absolutely critical. That's why we have Arabic numerals. They weren't actually their numerals, they were Indian, but it was the Arabs who'd written them down.
And the Arabic alphabet, which I believe goes alif, be, te, that's how it begins.
How many languages don't you speak?
I don't speak any Arabic, but I knew a little bit because I went to school with an Arab fellow called Ahmed, who was a friend of mine.
Oh.
Don't know where he is now.
Oh. I did a doctorate with a very nice bloke from Iraq, who I get hear from occasionally, now in Libya. Anyway, yes, where were we?
But the al, I believe, is quite an important...
Al, it means the, yes, and that's why we have all these names, like altitude and algorithm and algebra and alcohol, yes.
Al Capone?
They didn't drink They didn't drink the alcohol, they used it for medicinal purposes only.
Of course they did, we've all used that, yes.
Yes. So, Arab is very important to us. Secondly, we did the Chinese. Next week, it's the Mesoamericans, yes, the Maya, the Inca, and the Aztecs. And they were fascinating people, about whom I knew nothing until we did this.
Fascinating cultures. I'm not so hot on the fact that they sacrificed each other. But I guess when they were doing that, they believed so firmly in the afterlife. And
you were going straight to heaven.
That really, you were kind of doing someone a favour.
Oh, it's terrific. And you should have enjoyed being sacrificed. You should lie there with your arms stretched waiting for the knife.
I don't think so, do you?
They tended to sacrifice the losers in football games. What do you think? Do you think it'd be a good idea?
I'm sure Chelsea would relish that that decision. But once again, they kind of had it all going on. And
they had lots going for them. It was terrific. They invented rubber and cocaine and quinine and chocolate.
Cocaine was probably the problem, wasn't it? That's what slowed them down, I would have thought. They were all sitting around talking nonsense all night, and then, boom, in come the Spanish.
What's that?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
You with your beard.
But it was the Spanish who did it, yes. Came in with germ warfare. They gave them measles and syphilis.
But the Americans did that later on with the indigenous Indians in America, didn't they?
Exactly
They gave them blankets loaded with smallpox and stuff like that and wiped them out. Not a nice people, really.
No.
Thank God that the British have no dark skeletons in their past to talk about in such a way.
I'm sorry, I don't
follow
that.
We're blame-free. How many are there in the series then? How many altogether?
There are nine programmes in the series.
What are the most fascinating points that you remembered? What did you come away from?
For me, the best programme is the Greeks. Well, no, there are two ways, two answers to that question. The first is, for me, the best programme to watch is the Mesopotamians, which is coming up in a couple of weeks. That's absolutely fascinating. That's Sumeria, Babylon, and so on and so forth, Hanging Gardens, all that stuff.
That's where we believe, really, the species of mankind first rose to dominance on the planet.
We first got serious civilization. Big cities started there, and they started writing there, and so on and so forth.
So were there Hanging Gardens in Babylon?
Yes, they think so.
Yeah.
There was a queen had come down from the mountains of the north, and she hated this flat desert. She said, I want beautiful gardens. And so he built these extraordinary gardens, probably terraces.
Not dissimilar to when someone lives in a council block and thinks this needs tidying up, and they have a little windowsill thing.
Yes, very similar. Very
philosophy,
similar, yes. Possibly on a slightly grander scale.
Yeah.
So irrigation of that was a big problem, and they learnt how to do do it. They invented a whole system of laws, and they carved them in stone, so we actually know what the laws were like.
And is that, do you think, where we get the expression, it's not carved in stone?
Literally carved in stone. There were laws to prevent bartenders from shortchanging you. You know, so
they dealt with all the really kind of big issues.
Absolutely. Very important.
Because, of course, under the influence of alcohol, you can't count it yourself.
Well,
so
exactly, yes. Well, but the landlady ought to be able to do it.
Fascinating.
Landladies, mind you.
You are now at the top of the list of people I'd like to get stuck in a lift with. Not that I want to get stuck in a lift with you, but if I were to get stuck in a lift with someone, obviously Andy would be there to provide food, but you would be there to provide conversation.
And bore you to death. Yes, at least bore you to sleep.
I know, I'm finding this fascinating. Adam, Alan, whatever your name is, don't say that you're boring, because that's up for us to decide. It must be exciting to discover this stuff. I mean,
it's great.
But here's the thing: do you sometimes feel, oh my goodness, the shortfall in my actual knowledge?
Yes. Every day, I mean, almost literally every day, I discover a whole new area that I know nothing about, and I think I must be the most ignorant person in history. It really is, and particularly with this series. I'm going
to take the book home. It's called What the Past Did for Us: A Brief History of Ancient Inventions. I'm going to read it. I'm going to pretend I know it all already.
Can you just hold it up to the mic so they hear it a bit better?
Yeah, it looks lovely, though. I can't believe you didn't get to travel more, though. That's a bit of a downer for you, isn't it?
Next time. Next time.
Yeah,
yes.
Always say next time. I think we have time just for one more
if I'm very quick,
music before we go do it.
Yeah.
OK, well, Adam, thank you so much for coming in.
Pleasure for being here.
You look I think you look better with a beard.
Do you?
Yeah, because your face without it looks a bit weird.
Well, look, here's a pen, just inkied in on the cover there. That's it. I look much better like that.
You do look better. You do look like, Rolf Harris, but you do look better. And that's not necessarily a good thing to hear about yourself, is it? Adam, thank you so much for coming in. Good luck with the rest of the series. Good luck with the book, and I look forward to seeing the next lot when you churn them out.
Thanks a lot.
What are we going to end on, Andy?
Well, we were going to end on something, but we've only got 50 seconds now.
Well, we can have 50...
Sam Cooke.
I went on about something.